Hello my friends, Stevie B here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to write some tasty lo-fi hip-hop featuring some great products from my friends at Ava Music Group. They were nice enough to send me a copy of their new PRISM Lofi organic drums VST, and I'm going to put it to the test today and see if we can come up with something. Now, I've been working with my good friend Daniel Udall on a collection of guitar-based lo-fi that we're going to be pitching to a sync library that he works with. And by the way, if you want to hire Dan for your project, he's an absolutely brilliant guitarist and he's available for session work, and I'll put a link to his SoundBetter account in the description of this video. So Dan sent me some simple chord progressions, some loops, and what I'm going to do here is just simply bring one of these loops to life by adding drums using Ava's PRISM kit. And I may also use the Urban Legends kit, which is also fantastic. And I'll add in some other textures to fill things out. And you'll see firsthand that we can get things sounding pretty damn good in literally just a matter of minutes. Now, before I get started, I will mention real quick that PRISM Lofi organic drums are on sale. Currently, it is 50% off for their intro offer. There is a link to it in the description of this video. Go check out Ava's website. You can learn more about it there, and you can also check out some of the other amazing products that these guys make. I've been following Ava for a long time. I write a lot of trailer music as well as hip-hop music. Sometimes I even merge the two together. And so Ava products are kind of perfect for what I do because they specialize in both of those genres. Okay, cool. Let's get started on this track. Okay, so I got Dan's guitar work in front of me. We got our BPM at 80 here. Just really beautiful, simple chords, kind of uplifting, jazzy. Okay, so let's load up an instance of PRISM Lofi. Okay, so here it is. Basically, the way this thing works is that you can spin the Prism and access one of 10 different lo-fi kits. So just scrolling through these quickly. I kind of like the way this one sounds. Now, all these kits sound great. What I find particularly useful is the MIDI grooves that we can access. So if we just click into our groove display, I can actually audition these and find one that works for me. So we got lots of options. Let's try medium. We're at 80, so one of these should work. Let's maybe try ethereal to start here. Let's just press play. And we could scroll through these until we find something that we like. Let's try tranquil. And all of these grooves are pretty loose. By default, we can increase the tightness though. Let's bring the velocity down a bit maybe. Okay, that's starting to sound pretty good. We can also affect the swing too, which is pretty cool. So the suggested BPM for this particular groove is 90, but obviously it's going to sync to our session BPM, which is 80. That sounds great to me. Now what we can do here, which I think is so cool, is we can click on this MIDI button and just drag the groove right into our session. So let's do that. Okay, let me just close out of this for a second. Bring this MIDI over here to our start and open this up. Okay, so that sounds cool, but I'm going to get rid of these cymbal crashes and maybe get rid of this second hi-hat sound. Yeah, I'll get rid of this last one too. Now, one of the reasons I find this MIDI so useful is that we can use it to flesh out the drum groove and texturize it a bit more later, and we'll get to that in a second. So bringing Prism back up, if we take a look at the effects display, if we toggle back to the main screen, I can also audition other kits using the same MIDI. So there's a bunch we can choose from. So those sound cool, but I actually quite like this one. And another cool thing about Prism is if we go to our effects display, we can actually swap out the snare and the kick and other kit components and mix and match stuff. So if I just wanted to change the snare, I would just select on the snare and I could change that from the Cosmic kit to a different kit. Okay, but I'll just stick with the Cosmic. Also, another thing I love about this back-end display is that we can do some processing on these individual components. So everything you see on the right here, compression, exciter, transient designer, pitch, delay, verb, high pass, low pass filter, EQ. We can use all of that to process individual drum components. So let's say I want just like a little bit of verb on the snare. Just activate the reverb here. And maybe let's go back to our kick and add just a bit of saturation to it. Perfect. So tons of control over the effects. They all sound great, and I love that you can apply these to individual components of the drum kit. And if you want to make processing adjustments to the entire kit overall, you can either do that on the master display here, where you have the option for compression, tape saturation, limiting, and the secret sauce. The secret sauce is kind of a combination of like tube saturation and compression. And you also have access to the secret sauce and compression on the main display as well, on the left and right. I might push this compression up a little. Come to think of it, I actually think I like the snare sounding dry. So I'm going to come back to it and I'm going to take this reverb off. Yeah, it sounds great. So another great feature of PRISM is that it comes with textural layers, which are really convenient for the style of like chill, laid back lo-fi. So we can access these layers using C3 on our keyboard, and we can toggle between our textural layers using this button on the bottom left. So some of these are percussive, some of these are just like ambient noises. So for example, we got this like shaker, which is tempo synced, some birds, some more percussion, some rain. I love this rain. So let's try baking some of this rain texture into this session. I'm going to copy this patch. Let's record this in. Here we go. And I'm just going to stretch that out and bounce it to audio. Let's call it rain. And let's also use one of these percussive textural layers as well. Try this percussive layer here. Let's record that in. And let's bounce that down. And maybe let's try a different PRISM kit. So taking a look at PRISM Urban Legends, which essentially works the same way as the PRISM Lofi, but I would say overall the Urban Legends kits are more geared towards heavier, upbeat hip hop styles. Some of these also kind of sound old school, which I love. There's one kit which I love, is kind of more on the chill side. It sounds like this. Let's see what happens if I just copy my PRISM Lofi groove into my Urban Legends kit. I'm just gonna bring this underneath. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. I'm just gonna get rid of this MIDI, bring this up. I'm gonna turn this hi-hat sound down. I'm gonna get rid of these two snares. And on the last snare hit, I'm gonna extend it. Yeah, I really like that. Let's copy that out and maybe turn the Urban Legends kit down just a hair. Cool, so we got a really solid groove happening right now. I think I'm gonna press pause and add a few extra layers to the mix. So I'm gonna do that right now, then I'll come back and do a little walkthrough of everything that I added. Just a quick interruption here to let you know that if you're interested in learning more about how to write lo-fi hip hop for music libraries, I suggest checking out the course I have on that very subject, where I write, mix, and master a lo-fi track from scratch using free virtual instruments and samples. And the course is geared towards writing lo-fi for music libraries and licensing opportunities, as with all of my other genre-based courses that I host on productionmusicacademy.com. That link is also in the description of this video, and there's also a free intro to music licensing course if you want to learn more about that. So go check that out. Okay, let's get back to business. Okay, so let me show you what's going on here. First of all, added a bit of processing to Dan's guitar using the Sketch cassette and the Wolf compressor. So sounding a bit more tape wobbly and lo-fi. Below that, I'm using the electric home piano from Westwood and just copying the guitar progression. So underneath the electric piano, we've got all our percussive layers. So PRISM Lofi, PRISM Legends. I added a little percussion sample from Splice to give it a bit more movement. Kind of just like an extra shaker. We've also got this shaker texture from PRISM Lofi as well. And these are all going into a drums group, which is being compressed using the Valve compressor. I added some retrograde bass from Teletone. And rolling off all the highs. So it sounds super beefy. Below that, we've got our rain texture, which is now being sidechained to the kick. So it's kind of bouncing a bit. Underneath that, we got a piano, just adding a nice little bit of melodic content. Going through quite a bit of reverb. Also copy pasted the electric home piano chords into a instance of chamber strings, and I'm throwing that through some reverb and some sketch cassette as well. And I also took this string sample from Splice, which is just one single note. And I chopped it up and transposed it to fit in with the string ensemble. So now it sounds like this. And we also got a few tasty one-shots. This little flute sample here. So just having a little fun here. I just bounced the mix of everything together into my reel-to-reel. And what I'm going to do right now is just bounce the tape mix back into Logic. So just going to create a stereo track. And here we go. I'm going to press play. Enjoy the mix. So that's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and thank you so much to Ava for sending along their PRISM Lofi organic kit. And I'll make another video soon featuring all of their trailer libraries and samples too, which are absolutely amazing. Highly recommend going to check out their website. And like I said, if you're interested in learning more about music licensing, researching, and applying to music libraries, I've got a completely free course to get you started on that journey. That is all below. Go check it out and let me know what you thought in the comments. Hit that like button for me if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel, and in the meantime, I'm going to get back to work writing some more lo-fi tracks, so I will see you soon. Take care.